So I was watching this video about this guy who was talking about how he built up his Instagram following to, it was like 1.5 million followers. And what he did is he essentially, in the beginning, it was actually pretty interesting. He essentially just started following a ton of people, right? So he would essentially just follow a ton of people. He would sit down for 2 hours minimum per day, and he would essentially follow people and like a ton of pictures. And he just double tap and like a ton of pictures for a minimum of 2 hours a day. And so what naturally happened is, because he followed them and liked their pictures, they would start to follow him back. And when they followed him back, he built up to, I think, like 10 or 15,000 followers. And then at that moment, he unfollowed everybody. So he unfollowed everyone except for like 6 people or something like that. So what you see is, you see a guy who has all these pictures on his Instagram page, and you see he's following 6 people, but he has like 15,000 followers. So naturally, you're thinking to yourself, who is this guy? Like, when you first see his page, you're like, who is this person? I mean, this person, he has all these followers, but he's only following a couple of people. So because of that, he started getting more followers, and he started, at this point, he just started liking other people's pictures. He wasn't following people, he just started liking pictures. And over the course of like 2 years, he built up his following to literally 1.5 million people. And during that time, at some point in time, it was maybe when he had, I don't know, 200,000 followers. At some point in time, someone asked him if he'd be willing to sell his Instagram profile. And so they were gonna pay him, it was like 200 grand to sell his Instagram profile. But he basically said no. He was thinking like, you know what, if they're willing to pay me 200 grand, then shoot, I mean, let me just keep this thing and see where it goes, right? So he didn't sell for the 200 grand. Now, well, today, I don't know how long in between the time it was from when they offered it and when he got the 1.5, but now today he's actually working at a normal job. And what I'm essentially saying is, a lot of people focus on building followers where you should be focusing on building a business. The sad story of this guy is essentially that he built up this huge following, 1.5 million followers. And I mean, it's a legit following. The problem is he's not making any money off of it. So a lot of people, they tend to focus on building a following, but they forget about building a business. I know several guys who have 3,000 Instagram followers and they make 7 figures a month. You have to ignore this whole fad of building up followers. Ignore it. I know this guy, he could have made 6 figures off of his Instagram following because they offered him the 200 grand. He could have made the 6 figures, but it took him a couple of years to essentially get that offer, and it wasn't even guaranteed. He just kind of lucked into it that someone offered him that much money. And so after 2 years, he could have built a real business instead of building up Instagram followers. And a lot of people, they tend to focus so much on Instagram followers or just followers in general, and they tend to forget to build a real business, sell something. And what I tell people is like, hey, if your Instagram following is bigger than your bank account, then you're building your business wrong. Do not focus on followers. Build a real freaking business.